Iranian economic pressure cards against European, US, and Gulf interests during negotiations. Despite the sweeping economic sanctions imposed on Iran by the United States and the European Union over past decades, Tehran still possesses a set of economic pressure cards that give it the ability to influence the course of negotiations, whether they concern the nuclear program, sanctions, or regional security. These cards rely to varying degrees on Iran's geographic location, oil resources, and regional influence. First, the Strait of Hormuz, the most dangerous card. The Strait of Hormuz is Iran's most important pressure card, as nearly one-fifth of the world's maritime oil trade passes through it, in addition to huge quantities of liquefied natural gas coming from Qatar. Any threat to navigation or targeting of ships leads to rising global oil and gas prices, higher insurance and shipping costs, disruption of energy supplies to Europe and Asia, economic pressure on the United States and its allies. Although fully closing the strait would be costly for Iran itself, the mere threat or military escalation is often enough to raise energy prices and unsettle markets. Second, the global energy market. Iran possesses one of the world's largest oil and gas reserves. If sanctions are lifted, it can add large volumes to global markets, which could help lower prices. If tensions continue, the possibility of reduced supplies from the Gulf pushes prices higher, which Tehran uses as an indirect bargaining card. Third, targeting energy infrastructure in the Gulf. Iran sees the security of Gulf oil exports as tied to its own national security. For this reason, it always hints that any large-scale confrontation could extend to oil facilities, pipelines, ports, and energy export terminals in the region, which would affect Gulf economies and the global economy. Fourth, regional proxies. Iran has ties with armed groups in several countries in the region, and these networks are considered one of its tools of indirect pressure. Any operations targeting trade routes, ports, or oil facilities could affect international trade flows, maritime transport costs, energy market stability. Fifth, the nuclear program. The more Iran raises uranium enrichment levels or expands its nuclear activities, the greater the political pressure on the West. Tehran uses this file to demand sanctions relief, the release of frozen funds, and economic guarantees, while the United States and Europe seek to limit its nuclear capabilities in exchange for economic incentives. Sixth, the Iranian economy itself as a bargaining card. Although sanctions have weakened the Iranian economy, they have pushed Tehran to develop ways to circumvent them, such as trade in local currencies, expanding relations with China and Russia, increasing non-oil exports,